Peace. I wanted to take a moment and drop this before I head into my summer enrichment program with my youth. I noticed in the comment section of my recent videos, some people brought up the conversation about black on black crime. I see it in social media, I overhear it in casual conversations, and I wanted to address that as well as give those of you the proper response in regards to people bringing that conversation up when it comes to police violence or any of these racial issues that's going on here in this country. In terms of black on black crime, I despise that shit. And I despise the phrase itself. I will that it never, ever, ever, ever grows to the extent of the white on white and white on black and brown crime and violence that we have historically and presently see today in this country. I think it's important to keep in mind that black people only make up about 12% of the U.S. population, while white people make up about 63% of the U.S. population. And just based upon sheer numbers alone, it is virtually impossible to rival the extent and volume of crime and violence that's perpetrated by 63% of our population amongst themselves, as well as amongst black and brown people. Keep in mind that most crime and violence is intraracially concentrated, which means it's perpetrated amongst people that look like you and where you live at. And I think it's a safe assessment to make that anytime we see crime and violence in any minority communities in this country, it is a microcosmic example of a macrocosmic culture of violence that occurs amongst the majority of our population. And I also don't think that it's a coincidence that the mainstream media does not have this as a primary narrative in terms of what we see being reported amongst the media in this country. So I will this was inspiring, empowering, and educating, and gave those of you the proper response when people are talking to you about this black on black crime. Yeah, it's I don't like it. And I will that it never grows to the extent of the white on white and white on black and brown crime we have historically and presently see today in this country. Peace.